Chapter 3, Practice 6. When solving for percent increase or percent decrease, they both use the same formula. So only difference is the bottom numbers. Because when the percent increase, the bottom number is the smaller number. When percent decrease, then the bottom number would be the greater number. And you will have to use this formula here. Percent increase or percent decrease equals the larger number subtract the smaller number. The larger subtract the smaller. And divide by the number before the change. So if it's a percent increase, if this is an increase, then the original number would be the smaller number. If it's a decrease, then the bottom number would be the larger number. So whether it's a decrease or increase, the top two will still remain the same. Like larger subtract smaller, then divide by either the smaller or the larger number, based on if it's an increase or if it's a decrease. So let's look at number 1. Find the percent of increase from 2,000 to 3,000. So in this case, you see percent increase. So we have to subtract the difference, we have 3,000, take away 2,000, divide that by the smaller number because it's an increase. So the smaller number is the 2,000. Now 3,000 take away 2,000, that's 1,000 difference. That divide by 2,000, and you know that's going to be 0.5. 0.5 is a decimal form. So to get to percent, we will need to move 1 spot, 2 spot, and your answer is going to be 50%. So 50% is the percent increase. It's increasing from 2,000 to 3,000. So the percent increase is 50%. Number 2, find the percent of decrease from $2 to $1.25. So $2, I subtract 2 and $1.25. Divide that by 2. $2 take away $1.25. That means you have 75 cents difference. Right? 75 cents here. And divide by 2. So let's look at the calculator. On the right, if I hit 0.75 divided by 2, enter, I get 0.375. Okay, I get 0.375. Now I need to change that to percent by moving the 0.1, 2. So my answer is 37.5%. Okay, but the instruction on the top says round your answer to the nearest percent. So in this case, 37.5% would be 38%. Okay, 38%. And I need to circle 38% here. Go to number 3. What is the percent of increase from 30 to 90? So subtract 90 and 30. Divide that by 30 because it's an increase. So the bottom number would be the smaller number. 90 take away 30, 60. Divide by 30. That should give you 2. Okay. When you divide and you get 2, then you need to move the point twice to the right. That means you need to add 2 zeros. And the answer is going to be 200%. Circle that. Number 4. We can do number 4 on the side here. Find the percent of decrease from $20 to $11. So if I take away the 20 and the 11, I get 9. Since it's a decrease, so the bottom number should be the larger number. Okay, now divide 9 by 20. Okay, I'm going to the calculator. Clear that. 9 divide by 20. Enter. I get 0.45. So write 0.45. Then I need to move my decimal point 2 places to the right and put a percent symbol here. So the answer for that one is 45% decrease. Now let's look at number 5. Find the percent of increase from $25 to $30. So first thing is take away the big number, subtract the smaller number over the smaller number because it's an increase. Okay, $30 take away $25, that's like $5 over $25. Okay, now divide that. 5 divided by 25. Go to my calculator, clear, punch in 5, divide by 25. Enter. So I have 0.2. Right, 0.2. Then move the point twice. So 1, 2. You see, there's a gap right here, a space. So that means you need to add a 0 there. And that's 20%. So the 20% is 20% increase. Let's do number 6. What is the percent of decrease from 500 to 340? Take away 500 and 340. Divide. See, decrease means the bottom number is the larger one. Okay. If you take 340 from 500, you should get 160. Divide that by 500. Okay, let's see what that comes to. On the calculator, clear. Now, 160 divide by 500. Enter. That's 0.32. So, right, 0.32. And now we need to move the point twice to the right. So, it's 32%. And 32% decrease. Okay? So for number 7, 8, 9, 10, you are allowed to use a calculator. Why don't you use the calculator on the right here to solve for number 7 through number 10? Let me clear the screen here. Okay, now to solve that, this is what you need to follow. Find the percent of increase from $1.89 to $2.29. So the top number, okay, I'm going to need to hit N over D so I can get a fraction. Okay, the top number, I will need to put a parenthesis, and then I will punch in $2.29. Take away $1.89, close parenthesis. Now for the bottom number, okay, since it's a percent of increase, that means the bottom number is the smaller one, $1.89. Okay, and exit out here. Now you can press enter, or you can multiply by 100. Because if you multiply by 100, you don't need to move the point. So press enter. Now you see that's 21.164. But they want you to round to the nearest percent. I will have 21% exactly. Circle that answer. Number 8. Let's clear the screen. Okay, what is the percent of decrease from 21 to 3? Okay, again, press ND, the white key here, ND key. Okay, now parentheses, 21 minus 3, close the parentheses and go down. Now, since this is a percent of decrease, the 21 is the one on the bottom. Now, exit out by hitting the right key on the big button here. Okay, and then multiply that by 100. Enter. Okay, now you see 600 over 7. Okay, so in this case, you will need to hit the toggle button here. The key on top or right above of the enter key, press that key. The two arrow keys here. You see that's 85.714. Okay, let's write that down. 85.714%. So if I round that to the nearest whole, I will get 86%. Okay, what is 86% here? That means if you have $21 and it decreased to $3, so your value is decreased by 86%. That's a very big changes here. Number 9. Find the percent of increase from 65 to 338. Okay, let's go to the calculator. I need to clear the screen. Okay, ND again. N over D. Press this button here. Okay. Left parentheses. Okay. 338. Take away 6, 5. Close parenthesis. Go down. Now this one says increase. So that means the bottom number should be the smaller one. Now exit out by hitting the right key here. Now multiply that by 100. Press enter. That's exactly 420. Okay, let's write 420 here. Because I don't have to do any rounding, so 420% increase. That's a lot of increase right here. It increased a little more than 4-fold. Number 10. What is the percent of decrease from 1,550 to 1,025? So that's decrease. Okay, clear the screen. Again, N over D key, and left parenthesis, subtract 1550 and 1025. Close the parenthesis, go down. Okay, and look at the question. What is the percent of decrease? That means the higher number is on the bottom. And then exit out. Multiply that by 100. Enter. Okay, again, now you see 1050 over 31. That means you will need to hit the toggle button right above the enter key here. Okay, now you see that's 33.87. 33.87%. Now I need to round that to whole, so that should give me 34%. Okay, circle that. Okay, now let's move on to part B. Part B, number 11. Choose the one best answer to each question. You may use your calculator. Number 11. Justin recently moved from a part-time to a full-time job. Because of the change, his weekly pay increased from $280 to $448. To the nearest percent, By what percent did his income increase? So again, increase. So we are going to work on a calculator. Clear the screen here. Okay, watch carefully. I'm going to use the N over D key so I can have a fraction showing on the screen. Now I will need to subtract the two numbers. So I need a parenthesis, left parenthesis, type in 448, subtract 280, close the parenthesis, move the arrow down. Okay, now it says what percent did his income increase? That means the smaller number should be the one on the bottom. Exit out the blinking cursor here. So by moving or clicking the right arrow key here, and all you have to do is multiply 100. Enter. So you have 60% increase. Okay, so 60% increase, that would be B. Number 12. David bought a computer game on sale for $36. The game was originally $48. What was the percent of decrease in the game's price? So clear the screen. Okay, N over D button. Now left parenthesis, $48, subtract $36, close the parentheses, going down. Okay, since it's a decrease, that means the 48 or the larger number is on the bottom. Okay, exit out. Okay, now multiply by 100. Press Enter key. That's 25% decrease. So our choice is going to be B. Okay. Number 13. The Atlee's rent increased from $600 to $636 per month. By what percent did the rent increase? Okay, go to the computer or the calculator, clear the screen. Okay, again, press N over D key and left parentheses, subtract 636 and 600. Okay, close parentheses, move the arrow down, and since this is an increase, the bottom number should be the smaller number. Then exit out, multiply 100, enter. Now that's a 6% increase. So I'm going to highlight 6% here because this is the one option. Okay. Look at number 14 and 15. They want you to use the pricing chart. Mark sells computer equipment. He buys printers at wholesale and sells them at retail price. Customers who join his discount club pay the member's price. So we have model here. We have wholesale price here. We have retail price here. And we have membership price here. So we will read on and see what they ask for you to do. Okay, let's go back. 14. What is the percent of increase from wholesale to retail price of the L310 model? Okay, so now let's look at the L310 model. This is the model right here. And they talk about wholesale to retail right here. Okay, that's what we need to do. So now let's clear the screen. It says, what is the percent of increase from wholesale to retail price of the L310 model? Okay, now I need to press N/D key. Now parentheses, I need to write 141.75 minus $63, close the parentheses. Now go down. Okay, and since this is a percent of increase, that means the bottom number should be the smaller one. Now exit out by moving or clicking the right key here. Okay, now multiply that by 100. Press enter. That's 125% increase. Wow. Okay. Press C or click C on your part. Clear the screen. For number 15, it says for the L1430 model, what is the percent of decrease from retail price to members price? So this is the model that they refer to. Let me mark in a different color. Okay, model here, and they want the retail price and the membership price. Okay, so decrease from retail price to membership price. Okay, go to the calculator. Okay, punch in N/D key. Okay, and then the left parenthesis, subtract the two amount. Put 150.50 on the left, subtract 105.35, close the parentheses. Now go down the line. Okay, so what number should that be? Since it's a decrease, so you're gonna have to push 150.50. Exit out by moving to the right. Okay, multiply by 100 and press enter. I get 30. So it shows 30% decrease. Okay, so let's push that button there. 30% decrease. Okay, that means that the price, retail price, is much more, and then when you pay for membership price, you will save 30%.